Well, I think we're going to get started. Hello, and thank you for joining the IBM NES webinar, Bridge to Cloud. My name is Jennifer Ely Carter, and I'm with NES, and we'll be hosting today's event. Joining me is Terry Gerber, Worldwide Cloud Data Services Sales Executive with IBM. Next slide, please. First, I'd like to give you a brief overview of IBM's Bridge to Cloud program, take you through some of the benefits of cloud, and then Terry will highlight the various cloud data services offerings. And lastly, I'll provide you some background on NES, and we'll together address any questions you may have about the program and cloud data services offerings. So let's go ahead and get started. And before I launch into the nuts and bolts of this Bridge to Cloud program, I'd just like to give you a little bit of a background about why IBM announced this offering and what it means to you, the customer. As you've probably heard Ginny Rometty, the CEO of IBM, say before, data is the new gold. Data assets are now to companies what oil resources are to nations. And data is becoming the world's new natural resource, transforming industries and professions. Likewise, the emergence of cloud is transforming IT and business processes into digital services. So if data is the new basis of a competitive advantage, then cloud is the path to get to these new business models. And in the past, cloud adoption was perceived as something that only startups were doing. But I can tell you, based on my experience, and Terry can tell you as well, that especially within the past 8 to 12 months, enterprises, both large and small, from every conceivable industry, are transitioning their infrastructure and data ecosystems into the cloud. Companies from even traditional and change-resistant sectors, such as insurance, are turning to cloud technology strategies first as a means to cut costs and mitigate risk. And by now, some of you have probably heard the expression or seen in some of the trade journals the phrase one foot in the cloud and 1 foot on the ground. So when it comes to a technology roadmap, this approach is now widely accepted as a right path for some organizations. Even some of the companies we've been working with that want to be all in on the cloud when it comes to adopting cloud technologies can't always do it given limitations with legacy solutions, compliance, and other issues. So this is in part what caused IBM to embrace this hybrid approach and announce this unique program. It gives you, the customer, an opportunity to begin your journey to the cloud and validate the technology and yet still have your on-premise environment covered through dual entitlement. So with regards to this program specifically, as illustrated on this slide, if you've got DB2 installed, Pure Data, or Legacy Netezza, Cognos, and Formix, you're eligible to participate in this program. And essentially, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's dual entitlement. Your software renewal funds are used to procure cloud data services offerings. And typically the offering and the duration of this program would be 1 year. Next slide, please. And as I mentioned a little bit before, this hybrid approach is being embraced not only by IBM, but also our customers, because it's a way of really getting started on your journey, testing out the technology, validating it, and yet still maintaining coverage and support on your existing environment. And it affords you an opportunity to lower your infrastructure costs or redeploy that existing infrastructure elsewhere. And in most cases, there's little or no cost uplift in trying out these data services. Next slide, please. So again, as you're hearing, one of the reasons why everyone is looking at a cloud strategy now is because it affords opportunities for everyone within the organization, whether it's developers, data scientists, engineers, to take advantage of the rich offerings that previously may not have been available, but that are now available through these cloud service providers such as IBM. It's really a pay-as-you-go approach. So there's a shift from CapEx to OpEx, which for a lot of companies, especially smaller ones, is advantageous because experts are backing you and there's full support 24/7. It lowers your risk. And most importantly, it's faster time to value. You can get up and get started quickly and therefore innovate faster. Next slide, please. So before I turn it over to Terry, I just wanted to put this one slide up that kind of shows you this hybrid approach and spans IBM's offerings from cloud data services, with the contrast being that on the left-hand side of the slide, you'll see traditional on-premise data and software and appliances such as Pure Data for Netezza. And naturally, there's a trade-off for those customers that want ultimate control, but also the responsibility of managing their software stack. They'd be on the left-hand side of the screen or the slide. But in the instance of IBM and offering either a cloud image or fully managed services, it gives you the opportunity to make that trade-off and buy into IBM's experts and having full service available 24/7 through a managed services offering. And so you're trading off that control for simplicity. Next slide, please. And actually, Terry, why don't I turn it over to you so you can go through some of the specifics of these offerings.
Okay, thanks, Jen, and appreciate everyone's time today. So, one of the primary expectations of our clients when deciding to leverage the cloud is to minimize your time to value. So, in order to realize this, we are providing you highly integrated, enterprise-ready, business-focused offerings. And partners like NES, who are, NES is really one of our top partners, can help you get there. So let's look at this chart. And I think it's kind of interesting because it shows you the analytics unstructured, analytics structured. It goes through the, basically any possible iteration you will have with your data in your database. So we've got analytic unstructured, our Hibachi Hadoop offering, including big insights for IBM's value add. Analytics unstructured with DashDB, our warehouse in the cloud. Transactional and unstructured with Cloudant, or our JSON NoSQL database. And if you haven't heard of Cloudant, it was an acquisition about 2 years ago where people are using that for mobile and web apps. So really a fabulous place to do development in the cloud. And then for structured and OLTP, we have a DB2 on the cloud. So really that is basically moving DB2 onto the cloud as you know it today. So, and then in the center you see DataWorks, and that's our simple data movement tool, which you can basically move data from Cloudant into DashDB, and it will basically cover all of our core CDS or Cloud Data Services products for data movement and ingestion. And then, of course, Watson Analytics, which is our Insight Cloud service with connectors for ingesting our core CDS services. And you should really check that out. If you haven't tried Watson, you'll be blown away at how simple it is and how easy it is to manipulate the data. So just to reinforce, each of these services can be billed monthly to allow you the flexibility of provisioning and deprovisioning to meet your needs. So one of the beauties of the cloud is quick time to value, but also you don't have to keep whatever it is going if you're not using it any longer. So provisioning and deprovisioning. Next slide. So let's take a deeper look at DashDB. It's our fully managed analytics warehouse as a service. And DashDB at its core is DB2 Blue. It has all the speed and reliability that you're used to in DB2 Blue, with the Netezza in-database analytics capabilities and the SQL compatibility. So it's really easy integration with Cloudant for analytics of your mobile or web apps, and it's accessible from whatever tool you're using with an ODBC or JDBC connector. So if you're not using an IBM BI tool, you're not using an IBM ETL tool, whatever, don't feel like you have to have an all IBM solution. We can easily put things in soft layer, and if you want everything in the cloud, and make the connections there, or do the, what does Jen say, from 1 foot in the cloud and 1 foot on the premise. We can help you there as well. So let's see. So then also, if you're using PDA or Netezza, we have a data conversion workbench. So you can bring over your Netezza and Oracle applications with about 90% compatibility, and then you can work with NES as a partner to help you transform that last 10% to get to 100% compatibility. And with DashDB, you can start small, a project for a data scientist or a small department, and then grow it up. Currently, we can go up to 100 terabytes, and that will change. Every month we make changes to the software, and we're adding functionality and the ability to grow to bigger and bigger amounts of data in the warehouse. So start as small as 1 or 4 terabytes with our SMP system, and then grow to an MPP system. Or if you start with an MPP system, you can just add nodes in 4 terabyte increments without having to start over, without having to move out hardware and bring in something new. It's really, really flexible and elastic. So we're bringing more speed and greater storage with each instance, and you can add that to your network cluster as you need it, or as I was saying, reduce it. So that's the beauty of the cloud. Next slide, please. So DB2 on cloud. If you have DB2 on premise, DB2 on cloud is the perfect complement. It gives you the opportunity to scale without the concern of physical infrastructure, without buying more hardware. You select your configuration based on your needs, and IBM will create the VM and install DB2 and address any subsequent VM security patches, management, restore operations. But you as the customer are still responsible for the admin, the DB2 instance creation, the HA setup, OS patches, fix packs, upgrades, database backup, and restore. So we're finding that our DB2 customers want that full control, as Jen was showing in that slide at the beginning, where you move from control to fully managed. So this is our hardware, our network, but you control how the system works. And so it's very much the way you're used to using DB2. So it's provisioned on SoftLayer via Bluemix. It's fast and simple deployment. I mean, think about it. No setting up hardware, no setting up operating system, making sure you have enough AC, enough room. You just add another node and you're ready to go. It's got virtual private nodes or bare metal, depending on your configuration. And Jen was talking about OpEx versus CapEx. So you can pay for this monthly, quarterly, or you can pay for it annually upfront. We have native encryption, so your data's safe. And it comes in 5 t-shirt sizes, so you can, again, create it to the size that fits your environment. We have Workgroup Server and Advanced Enterprise Edition, and all the benefits you know and love about DB2 without having to expand your data center or update your hardware. All right, next slide. So just briefly, I want to talk about big insights for Apache Hadoop. We're just going to give you a taste of our offerings. So, I could go on about this for about an hour, but we just have a few minutes. So I'm just going to give you a taste of Big Insights. If you haven't heard of Big Insights or haven't tried it, it's based on 100% open source Apache Hadoop. So within IBM's technologies, what we've done is set up Apache Hadoop for you in SoftLayer, and we do all the networking and the system integration, and Apache Hadoop is there ready for you, just like if you had downloaded it from the web, but simpler, because we're worrying about the hardware, we're worrying about the cluster, we're worrying about getting all the pieces working together. And if you ever tried to set up a Hadoop cluster, you'll know that that's a lot of value add. And then with IBM's unique technologies for data analysts, data scientists, and systems administration, you can choose what you want to install and tailor your system to your needs. So the base configuration starts with base Apache Hadoop, and then we offer small, medium, or large configurations. And then you can use the data analyst version, the data scientist version, and depending on what you need, we include our big SQL, big Sheets, text analytics, big R, machine learning, and also you'll see we have a lot of Spark integration now, and everyone knows Spark is really hot in the market. The Spark notebooks are making people's life easier and speedier. And then don't forget, you can take advantage of our built-in Twitter Decahose service as well as our weather channel data. So actually, it's flipping to the next slide. But we have a free Decahode service that gives you a lot of information about what your customers are saying about you, and you can do analytics on that. And of course, now we have the weather channel data. So if you wanted to look at last year's sales and compare it to a snowstorm or a rainstorm or a sunny day, depending on what your business is, that may have a huge effect on it and help you forecast for the future, how to stock the shelves or put people in place, etc. So if you need that deeper analytics, really big insights for Hibachi Hadoop is the way to go. Okay, next slide. So I just want to turn it back over to Jen, but with that short summary, I just wanted to say that our products to bridge in the cloud will really help you to have both feet, one foot in the prem and 1 foot in the cloud, and it will give you a year to try them both out. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can go back to what you were using before. If you like it, but you still want to keep your old system going, then by all means keep both your premise-based and your cloud offering, or just go all cloud. But we're making it easy for you by offering this in a hybrid setting and with very little additional cost to you for the year. So it gives you the opportunity to try it, have your people in your organization try it, and have a fantastic partner like NES supporting you in your journey to the cloud. So with that, Jennifer, I'll turn it back over to you. And thanks for the opportunity today.
Thank you very much, Terry, for covering the cloud data services offerings in this program specifically. And just to give everyone on the line a little bit of background about who we are, if you're not familiar with NES, we're a longstanding IBM business partner. This is our 36th year in the business, and we support customers all throughout the Northeast. And we've always been focused on data solutions and have expanded our portfolio based on the needs of our customers and the needs of the marketplace. And of course, with the rapid adoption of cloud now, we are focused in that area as well. And as I mentioned earlier in the introductions, we work with a variety of customers, and even those sectors that seem resistant to cloud initially, such as insurance, we're seeing their buy-in also. Next slide, please. So this chart just gives you a quick overview of where we play and the kind of skills and competencies that we can bring to bear in any engagement with you. And Terry's mentioned a lot of these different technologies, but some of the ones that I'd also like to call out to your attention include the competitive line at the bottom, because as Terry mentioned, we understand that the environments are heterogeneous. We also understand the need for a hybrid approach. And we can offer our resources to complement your team as far as integrating those competitive solutions so that you can have something that's viable for you. So whether you're using IBM ETL or different technologies or a different business intelligence tool on the front end of your data warehouse, it doesn't matter. We can support you and collaborate and get you into the cloud to get started. And just the other point that I would call out here, I know, again, Terry did a great job talking about Big Insights, which is, IBM's distribution for Hadoop, and also DashDB. The one thing we didn't talk about is data security in any kind of depth. DashDB does include a lot of encryption and those security principles to safeguard your data. And also a piece of that is Guardium. So Guardium is IBM security offering, and NES has been doing a lot in securing multiple heterogeneous database environments for customers throughout the Northeast as it relates to their data security and privacy initiatives. And services is critical in wrapping this all together, so that will kind of lead me to the next slide, please. So we are actively supporting several customers with varying size projects and engagements as it relates to cloud. One of them being rather a complex deployment because it involves HIPAA, and another one with a local company that essentially wants to do dev test in the cloud with some of their systems, and that's how they're dipping their toe in the water. And I would mention that that's a great area for you to get started if you're not ready to put production workloads up in the cloud. Use it for dev test. And just a couple of those bullet points on the bottom, I mentioned before, we can help you, and Terry did as well. Data integration support. We've got a lot of skills in-house for some of those competitive technologies, so it doesn't matter if you're not an all IBM shop. And of course, project management is critical in trying to navigate this and migrate to the cloud. And given our heritage regionally and our longevity in the market, you're going to be dealing with the same set of resources, so it's nice to have that continuity there, regardless of the technical folks that may be coming in and out of engagements. There's consistency with account coverage. Next slide, please. So I think we've got a little bit of time left, so we'd like to open it up to any questions anybody may have, whether it be about cloud in general or IBM's point of view relative to cloud and these offerings, or certainly specific to this Bridge to Cloud program that IBM is offering. There's a chat box or a Q&A box, so if you want to submit your question there, you may. So one question we've gotten from customers is wondering how long this particular incentive is going to be around. It was announced last year. IBM is really going quarter to quarter with this. It's been successful thus far, so I think they'll continue. But my recommendation would be to certainly take advantage of it sooner rather than later, because it really is a great opportunity. As Terry said, it's a great way for you to begin your journey and manage the cost during the evaluation stage. Typically, that's not a scenario that's available to customers, and in this case, you can evaluate the technology, validate it with only a moderate cost uplift from your current SNS. Terry, did you want to add anything?
No, Jen, I think you did a fantastic job. I think people should take advantage of this. Really, it's a low-cost way to keep your current environment and try the new environment with really very little risk. Okay. And great support from NES, of course.
Thank you very much. I think we'll just wait one more minute, but if no one has any questions, we'll let you all get back to enjoying your lunch break. And thank you very much for your time and your interest in IBM Cloud offerings.
Thank you.